That's probably recording early.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining. We'll wait a few more minutes to get started so we can let other people join in.
Larissa, you might not want to have the recording going on until you're ready to start the meeting.
Woo! It started.
Okay, we can wait 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. We'll just wait for a few more people to trickle in. Okay, we can get started now. Okay, so hi everyone. We are USC Gerotech and we will be presenting about digital communications. Larissa, would you like to speak more?
Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Larissa and I'm the president of Girotech SC. So we're USC's premier student-run club dedicated to making technology more accessible and enjoyable for everyone. And today we're excited to walk you guys through some helpful features of two popular messaging apps, which are iMessages and Google Messages. So before we dive in, I think we'd all love to get a quick sense of the group. So could you guys let us know on the chat if you have an Android or an iPhone? We've included examples for both in our presentation, but it would be great if we could get a sense of what you guys use the most, so then we can tailor a few examples to what you're using. Okay, I see some people typing. Oh yeah, so I think we have a good mix. We're going to be, as I said, talking, giving examples about both Androids and iPhones, but feel free to ask any questions in the chat as we're going. And for some of our examples, we're going to go in a little bit of a slower pace so you guys can try doing the examples as we're giving them and ask any questions so we can go back and forth to make this event more interactive. So yeah, thank you. Do you guys, other people from Gerotech want to introduce yourselves too?
Yeah, for sure. My name's Tyler Pham, and I'm the vice president of Gerotech. And thank you guys all for joining us today.
I'm Hannah, and I'm the treasurer of Girotech, and I'm really excited to be diving into this content with you all.
Hi guys, my name is Beatrice. I am the secretary of Geotech, and I'm super excited to have this meeting today.
Hi everyone, I am Jenna and I am the Director of Internal and External Affairs as well as the Director of the online workshops. So we can get started. So first off, we're just going to talk very briefly about what this whole workshop is going to be focused on. So as we may already know, messaging apps have really expanded a lot in the past few years. There's been a lot of new features and a lot of different integrations of like apps that we might already be using. So through apps like iMessages, Messenger, and Google Messages, messaging apps aren't just for sending plain text anymore. They've expanded a lot to allow you to send GIFs, games, send your location to ensure your own safety, and even integrate with other apps all from the same conversation. So there are so many fun ways to personalize your messages now, like using emojis, stickers, and even reacting to someone's messages without typing a word. So these apps have really made it easier than ever to stay in touch with family and friends, whether that's through group chats or video calls or through a bunch of different emojis. So we'll explore all of these features today and show you some simple ways to make the most of them.
So the first topic we'll be diving into is digital touch and text effects. So first looking at digital touch, it's a feature that brings a new creative dimension to communication on the iPhone, and it was originally introduced on the Apple Watch, but digital touch was later brought to the Messages app starting with iOS 10, and then now it's available on iPhone 6s and the newer models. This feature allows users to send animated messages such as sketches, taps, and even heartbeats. So by simply drawing on the screen or tapping with one or two fingers, users can create personalized visuals that appear very dynamically on the recipient's device. So it's a very expressive and almost artistic form of communication that goes beyond just texting words. And so while your heartbeat requires a Apple Watch, because it uses the built-in heart rate sensor, sketches and taps can be sent freely from the compatible iPhone. And so this feature is perfect for quick, meaningful gestures, especially when words are not enough to convey that emotion or spontaneity. And then building on the theme of expressive communication, Apple also introduced message effects, which is another way to visually enhance the way that we text. Available through iMessage on iPhones running iOS 10 and later, message effects offers two different types of animations, which are bubble and screen effects. So bubble effects kind of modify the appearance of those individual message bubbles, where there's slam, loud, gentle, and even invisible ink, which will hide the message until the recipient swipes to reveal it, which adds another element of surprise or even privacy. And screen effects take over the entire screen with animations like, as you can see in the video, the balloons floating up to celebrate, confetti raining down for congratulations, lasers firing for high energy moments, or even fireworks that explode across the screen. So it's important to note that these effects do require iMessage and will not display if the conversation is not happening or if the conversation is happening over SMS. So by adding sound, visuals, movement, message effects creates a very immersive and memorable messaging experience, as you can see. Very cute and fun. And then shifting from expressive communication methods to more practical functionality, we can talk a little bit more about Apple Cash. Apple Cash is Apple's peer-to-peer payment service, which is fully integrated in the Messages app. And so it makes it really easy to send and receive money through a text conversation. So when someone sends you money via messages, it goes directly to your Apple Cash card, which is a virtual prepaid debit card that's stored in your Apple Wallet. And so the balance that you receive can be used to make different purchases in stores, online, or even apps, wherever Apple Pay is accepted. And you have the option to transfer your Apple Cash balance directly to your bank account if you prefer. Apple Cash transactions are secured by Apple Pay's robust security features such as Face ID or Touch ID authentication. And so to use the Apple Cash method, users must have an eligible Apple ID, two-factor authentication enabled for their Apple account, and a supported device running iOS 11.2 or later. So this service really highlights Apple's ongoing effort to make those digital transactions more seamless, secure, and integrated in everyday life. Yeah, and this video kind of shows how easy it is to have that financial transfer, even just through the text messaging app. Yeah, so there was a question in the chat which asked, can Apple Cash use a credit card in addition to debits? And the answer is yes, but with some limits, because to send money with Apple Cash, you can fund your payments using a debit card for free, but you can't use a credit card to send Apple Cash to another person. So it's mostly based around a debit card system.
Okay, next we'll go over scheduling messages, which is a fairly new feature for iPhones, but I think it's been around on Android devices for a bit. So we'll go over how to use this and the practical uses for these. So in case you want to send a message to someone later on, you can use this feature. So sometimes you might want to be reminding someone about an event 5 minutes before it happens, or you don't want to send a message late in the middle of the night. That's when you would kind of want to use this feature. So for the Apple version, you can click the plus button that is right next to your chat box right here, and you can click the send later option right here. This is only available for iOS 18 and later, just to kind of preface. And so yeah, so to use this feature, once again, you're going to click that send later option, and then you can type in your message and adjust the time that you want to be sending that message for, and hit the send button, and that'll be sending right when you set your time for it. After you've already sent your scheduled message, you can adjust what you sent. You can actually send it immediately, you can edit the scheduled time, or you can delete the message altogether. So this is a quick video. Oops, sorry. This is a quick video to demonstrate how to use that feature. So yeah, once again, you're going to click that plus button, and then you will click the send later option, and then adjust and set your time. And then you can hit send. So really quickly, has anybody ever used this feature before, or can anyone kind of come up with a situation in which they think they'd be able to use this? You can just say that in the chat. And if you would like, you can also try to demo this feature and see if you can use it right now as well.
I can share one time I used it recently. So my parents live in Brazil, so we have a 4-hour time difference. And then sometimes I want to text them at night, but I know they're already going to be sleeping and I don't want to wake them up. So I scheduled a message for in the middle of the night when they would be up already in the morning, and then they get the message in the morning. So that's how I usually use it, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a really useful way to use that. Peter asks, is there an app we need to download? And no, so this is already built into the iMessages app. Unfortunately, however, this is only available for like the newer iOS like updates. So once you have your phone updated to the iOS 18, you'll be able to find that feature. We can move on to the Android slash Google Messages version, which is available after Android 7.0. So for this kind of setup, you'll be touching and holding the send button here, and that'll automatically trigger the schedule send option, or sometimes you might want to press that plus button right here, and that can give you the option to schedule send. And then you can pick your date and time for when you want the message to be sent. You save those time settings, and the message will be sending to when you set it to. And similar to the iPhone option, you can also update the message you're sending. You can send it immediately, or you can delete the message altogether. Okay. And next we'll be moving on to audio recordings, which is also a feature that's been around for a while. But just to kind of go over how to use it. You want to tap that plus button. You're going to click the audio option, and your audio will immediately begin recording. And once you're done, you can hit the stop button and you can either play it back, cancel the audio recording that you just made, or you can send it immediately. So this is really useful for when you have a lot of things to say and it's just a lot to type. Or if you don't have if you're not able to use both of your hands to type, it's also a great way to kind of convey whatever you want to send. So yeah, Larissa has asked in the chat who has already used audio recording. So if anyone has used it or if it's been really useful for people, you can share your experience with using this in the chat. Yeah, so Minnie asks a really good question. She says, I did receive a voice/audio message that disappeared after I read it. What is that? Where did the message go to? So that's a really good question. So I'm going to replay the video. So if you see here, sorry, if you see, once the message sends, there is a little blue button at the bottom that says keep. So these audio messages, because they take up a lot of space, they tend to they're by default, they will disappear after 2 minutes after you've played it. So if you want to keep that for later for future use, you want to hit that keep button and it'll stay in your records. Otherwise, it's automatically going to get deleted within the 2 minutes. And this is the same feature, but on Google Messages. So you're going to tap the audio button right here. You're gonna click the microphone button to start recording, and then you can hit stop or send it, or you can restart your recording if you didn't like it.
Okay, so now we're gonna go over how to send GIFs or GIFs. I never know how to pronounce it. But this is a nice feature. So if you guys aren't familiar with GIFs, these are images that have movement. So it's not necessarily a video, it's just an image with movement that keeps on repeating. So I'm gonna go over how to send GIFs both in iPhones and Google Messages. And then afterwards, it would be nice if you guys could try it with us. Let us know what you think, if you were able to send it or not. So we go to the next slide. For iPhone, the first thing you're gonna need to do, if you guys want to follow along as I explain, is click on the little plus button right beside the message input bar. So after you click on the plus button, if you go to the next slide, you're gonna be presented with all the different options and you're gonna click in this hashtag images. So after clicking on these hashtag images, you're gonna be presented with a million GIF options. So there's some of people being excited, people crying. There are even like happy birthday gifts, things like that. If you want, you can browse through the ones that are already here, like the trending GIFs, or you can search for keywords. So if someone sends you a message like inviting you to their birthday party and you're really excited with that invitation, you could send a GIF of a person being really excited or a little dog jumping up and down, things like that. So yeah, after you found the GIF you want to send, you click on it and you need to click on the send button. So it's the little blue button with the arrow, and that's gonna automatically send it to the contact you chose to send it to. So with Google Messages, it's a very similar process. You're going to click on the message input bar. And after you click on the bar, you're going to be presented with all of these little icons we can see below. So they're like the little happy faces, the microphone, and then here we see the GIF. Yeah, so then you're going to select the GIF icon and you're going to be able to see all of the different options. So in Google Message, they even have little columns that already separate the theme of the GIF. So we have the trending GIFs, happy, fun, etc. Or you can also enter keywords as you wish. So same thing, after you chose the GIF you want, you click on it and click the send button in order to send it to the person you wish. So was anyone able to follow along? Do you guys want me to go back to a specific step? Can anyone share if they were able to send someone a GIF? Feel free to open your mics too. It doesn't need to be in the chat.
I just sent one to my daughter.
Yay, that's awesome. What was
Yeah.
the image you sent?
It was the Cookie Monster saying hi.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, nice. Yeah, so GIFs are just a fun way to engage in conversations. Yeah, so if you guys want to try and maybe ask any questions in the chat too, we can come back to that and help you guys. But for now, let's move on. So now, another way of visually interacting with your messages is reacting to messages. So with this, if someone sends you a message, like in this example here in the slide, someone said, yeah, give me 5 minutes. You can react with all of these different pre-selected options that you see here by pressing on the message for a few seconds longer than a click. So you would press and hold for a bit, and then these options on the top for reactions would appear. So you can either react with an emoji or one of these other icons from iMessage. So someone says, yeah, give me 5 minutes, you can react with a thumbs up. If someone says something funny, you can react with the laughing face. So yeah, that's all up to you. But yeah, sometimes we're in a rush and we don't want to type a response, or there's just not really anything to say. And so you just react with a icon. So Peter asked, what's the difference between Google Messages and the regular green and white messages icon on my phone? So Google Messages is for Android phones. So if you have an iPhone, you probably use iMessages, but a person with an Android probably won't have the iMessages on their phone, so they would be using Google Messages. So that's the only difference. Later we'll explain a bit more about this, but previously, if you had iMessages, you would only be able to send messages to another person who had an iPhone, so who had iMessages too. But now, there's this new feature that allows you to send messages to people with Androids too, and Google Messages. So yeah. And then for Google Messages, message reaction, it's pretty much the same. Just press it for a few seconds longer, and then you'll be given all the different emoji options to react to the message. If you guys have any questions again about this topic, also feel free to type it in on the chat, or yeah.
When on Google Messages, the last screen where you say scroll through options and number 2A says tap back. Does that mean you want us to tap the back button?
No, I think the tap back button just means all of the preset little emoji options or like other icons.
Oh, okay. I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I think we can go on to the next topic now.
All right, so moving on. Mindy asks, is a special setting needed for iPhone message to go to an Android phone? It's not really a setting, it's just more the type of phone that you have. So if you purchased an iPhone, then you're gonna have Apple Messages or iMessage, and if you purchase like an Android phone, then you're gonna have Google Messages. It's just based on what type of phone you purchase.
But you
So
will
moving
be able to, sorry,
go ahead.
but you will be able to, if you have an iPhone, you still will be able to message people with an Android phone. When you're using an iPhone and messaging other people who are using Apple products, the messages will show up as blue messages. blue text bubbles. But if you are messaging people who have an Android phone, then the messages will show up as green. And at the top, it'll say SMS/MMS message rather than iMessage. So that's just the only distinction.
We'll have more on that later in the presentation to clear things up. So moving on to the next topic that's integrated into messages is sharing your location. So this might be useful if you're trying to communicate to people where you are, or for instance, if you want to like keep track of your children or something, you can have them like share their location with you. So at Apple, the way you do this is that you open a message conversation and then you go to the top of the screen where it has their contact photo. So for instance, this is like me, you would press like TP at the top, my contact photo. Then you go down to the button that says share my location. And then after that, you could select for what duration you want to share your location with them for. So if I selected like for 1 hour, they'd be able to see where I am for the next hour by checking the conversation. Or if I select it indefinitely, they'd be able to see it until I turn it off. So if you're sharing it with someone, it's probably recommended to not do it indefinitely, probably just for like an hour. Because the risk that if someone, like for instance, or if someone steals that person's phone, then they could see where you are because you share your location indefinitely with them. So it's probably best, like for cybersecurity reasons, to only share it for a short period of time, for however long it's needed. So that's how you do on Apple. And then, can you do next slide? And then to do on Android, you're gonna, instead of doing it through the Messages app, you're gonna do it through the Google Maps app. So you're gonna open Google Maps, and then you're gonna go to the sidebar here and select location sharing. And then after you select location sharing, it's very similar. You just select how long you want to share your location for, and to which people you want to share it. And then the last slide is about Facebook Messenger. Can you go next slide? Thanks. So Facebook Messenger, in Facebook Messenger, you can also share your location. Again, you're gonna go to a conversation, and then in the bottom left, there's a little blue plus icon. So you're gonna press that first, and then there's gonna be this little triangle icon. And you're gonna press that, and then lastly, you're gonna press a button that says start sharing live location. And again, it's gonna ask you how long you want to share it for. And then you select your desired duration. And this can be helpful if you wanna again just let people know where you are. Like if you're on your way to meet someone, they could check how far you are, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Can I just add something on that? I personally use this feature a lot for several different reasons. So, like if I'm going out on a walk alone or yeah, going somewhere alone, I always share my location with a friend or a family member so they know where I am, and in case anything happens, they have my location. Or also if you're like in a really crowded event with a bunch of people and you're planning on meeting someone and you keep calling them like, oh, where are you? That usually could take like hours for you to find where they are. So if you have their location, you guys can just find each other way quicker. So yeah, those are just a few ways, situations where I choose to share my location.
That's actually a perfect segue into our final topic about sharing location. Is called the check-in. So this is a feature exclusive to Apple, and it's brand new. Oh, how to drop a pin in a text message. We're not gonna show that, but I can explain it real quick. So I could just show you with my phone right now. So you're gonna want to open the Google Maps app or the Apple Maps app. You're gonna want to open the Apple Maps app, and then to select a pin. So you're gonna make a pin on the map. Hold up, sorry, pull it up. So for instance, this is sorry, I'll put my background. Okay, so this is my Google Maps app, and this is a pin that I made on the map. And if you guys don't know how to make a pin on the map, what you're gonna do is you're gonna tap and hold on the screen, and it's gonna make a pin. So now on Google Maps, I have a pin, and then right underneath it, there's this very small button of a square with an arrow going upwards. So you're gonna press that button, and then you could select who you want to share the pin to. And you could send it via messages, via AirDrop, via even via Gmail, I guess. So you could send it to whoever you want to share it with. Is that clear?
Also, just A side note, you can also do this all within the iPhone and the iMessage app. If you click the plus button next to your chat, as you can see in the left side screenshot, if you click that and you scroll all the way down, you can find the location button. And through that, you can send your current location and you can also send a pin through that as well.
Thanks, Jenna. So moving on to the final feature is check-in. It's a brand new feature that was added to Apple. And what this feature does is very similar to what Larissa was talking about. It's a way for you to send your location to a friend so they could check in on you in case you don't arrive within a specified amount of time. So, for instance, if you're like going to meet them and you're traveling through like a dangerous area, you could send them a check-in. And what the check-in will do is that you could select a time period, for instance, 1 hour, and then after 1 hour, it'll notify you. And if you don't respond to that notification, then it'll send your friend a bunch of details about where you are, like your location, how much Wi-Fi you have, stuff like that. That'll be very useful for pinpointing you down in case you get lost. So to send a check-in, you're gonna want to press the plus button in the bottom left of an iMessage conversation. Then after you press the plus button, then you're gonna scroll down on the scroll here to check-in. And then after you press check-in, then you'll have the option to just press send a check-in. And then you can press edit and change how long you want the check-in to be for. And then that's it. And then your friend can check in on you if you don't respond within the specified time frame.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about creating stickers, which is also a really fun way to just communicate. As Larissa was mentioning before, we have the gifts, but then in the stickers, you can make them pretty personalized, which I think is very fun. So, yeah. First, we're going to talk a little bit about the Apple ones. So there's kind of two options depending on which phone you have. If you have the iPhone X and later, you can make customized animated avatars that mimic your facial expressions. It can be a video, it can be a sticker, it can be an emoji. We're gonna show you guys a video really quick because it sounds really confusing, but when you see the video, it'll make a lot more sense. I personally just found out what an emoji is, so it can take a little while, but let's show first the video of the memoji and then I'll get into the Genmoji.
Should we put it on full screen, the video? I think it
Yes,
might be
I
easier
think
to
it's a little
see.
small. Okay, yeah. Sorry. So basically, that's a memoji. You can drag it in front of a picture, on top of a picture, sorry, and then it would mimic the face that you have in the picture. It's kind of confusing. I personally don't use it a lot, but it can be a fun way to communicate. A Genmoji is basically just if you have a iPhone 15 Pro or later. And it's a little bit different just because you can describe the emoji you want to create, and then the emoji will automatically save into your list of emojis. So the same way that we were previously explaining, you're gonna tap in the plus button in the left corner and then tab the Genmoji and then describe the emoji you want. So let's see the video for that. So here, for example, you could say, yeah, as the example saying dinosaur holding a guitar, which is very oddly specific, but with this new technology with AI, they can make an emoji especially of what you're saying. So here they have a bunch of options, and then you can pick the dinosaur holding a guitar, whichever one you want. And then similar to the iPhone, the Android also has a similar function. In the next slide, we have the photo emoji. Oh, I think it's in the, yeah, I think you can keep going, Jenna. Sorry, I think we fix it after. You can keep going. Keep going. Yeah, okay. So here we have the photo emoji, which is for Google Messages. It's for the Android 8 or later. And it's basically the same thing. You can send a sticker of your own pictures. So as it's gonna show in the example, you can take a selfie and a sticker will be made out of it. So let's see the video. So as the video shown, you're gonna create the create option, and then you can either get a picture from your folder or you can take a picture live at the moment. And that photo emoji will be saved forever in your messages. So those are really cool features. I don't personally necessarily use them all the time because it gets a little complicated, but I think they're really fun if you want to, send something different. Now, Jen, if you could go back. Yeah. So now we're gonna talk. Oh no, sorry. And then yeah. So now we're gonna talk about messages and the App Store. So that's mostly for iPhones, but it's a really cool feature. You can download message integrated apps and features so you can make your messages more personalized. So you can download apps that have stickers, polls, games, and those sorry. Yeah. And you can integrate those into your messages to send to the people you want to send them to. So to be very specific, let's say you have the Starbucks app on your phone. You can send stickers of Starbucks because you have the Starbucks app. It doesn't work for every single app, but there are a few of them that work. So for example, Venmo. If you download Venmo, then you have Venmo now in the plus sign right in the left corner.
Also for Starbucks, and probably other apps too, similar to Starbucks, you can send a gift card within the group chat messages to your friends. So that's like a very useful way to kind of integrate using these apps within messages.
Yes. I love that feature because it can be a simple way to send a gift without having to, go to the store. You just send them a gift card. Now I'm going to talk about sending photos and videos, which basically work the same for both Androids and iPhones. One more. Okay, so this is my example of my iPhone, but you just open any chat you want to send a picture or video to. You're going to click on the plus sign as we talked about, and you're going to select the option photos. And then your camera roll is going to appear right in the bottom here. And you just select any picture or video you want to send, and then you hit the send button. It is exactly the same thing in the Android app. It's just also a plus sign. Then you select from your gallery, and you're going to send the picture or the photo. But yeah, that's mostly it. But just a quick reminder about the Messages app, the iMessage and Messages app. It might happen that your picture does not get sent, or your video doesn't get sent, or your audio messages don't get sent. And that is because they have size maximum. So for example, in the Apple, the maximum size of a picture or a video you can send is 100 MB. You don't have to worry too much about the actual size, because if you can't send it, if it's too much MBs, it just won't let you send it. And I personally did not know what were the MB sizes you could and could not, because you don't have to know this stuff. Just know that if your picture or video does not send, or your audio messages does not send, it might be because it's too long or too heavy to send on your phone. So for example, in audio messages, if it starts getting too long of an audio, it will simply compress automatically. You don't have to do anything. But yeah, just to keep in mind that if something does not send, it might just be the size of the file. when that does happen, if the size of the file is too big, there are a few options of things that you can do if you really want to send that picture or that video. One of them is to send pictures through Google Drive, which we're gonna see in the video. So basically, you just convert whatever you want to send into a link, and you send that link, and the person will be able to open the link and see the video/picture you wanted to send. So let's watch the video.
Mobile phone. Once it's open, we can start creating a folder for your photos. Now go ahead and tap the New button in the bottom right corner of the screen. From the menu that pops up, select Folder. You'll want to give your folder a name. This is where we'll upload all your photos. Once the folder is created, tap on it to enter the folder. Next, tap the plus sign in the bottom right corner again, and this time choose Upload. Go ahead and select the photos you want to upload from your device into this folder. After you've selected the photos, wait a few seconds while Google Drive uploads them. You'll see the progress right in the folder. Now that all your photos are uploaded, let's make sure you can share them. Tap the three dots next to the folder name. From the menu, select Manage Access. In the Manage Access menu, scroll down to General Access and tap Change. Here, select anyone with the link. This will allow anyone who has the link to access your photo folder. Finally, to get the link, tap the Copy Link icon in the top right corner of the screen. The link to your folder has now been copied. To make sure everything's working, I'll open the link in a new tab to check. And here we go. The folder with all the photos is accessible. Now you can share the link via email, social media, or however you want. And that's it. You've successfully sent photos using a Google Drive link. I hope this was helpful. If you
Just as a side note, while this video does demonstrate sending like a whole folder of pictures, you can send like individual videos or individual pictures or individual PDF files as well without putting it into a folder, just using the same process of clicking the three dots on the side and managing the access. So this is a really, really useful way to send like really big videos because there's a very I think it's a very limited size of video, so you can't send videos. I'm not sure what the the minute limit is, but it might be anything over like 5 minutes is too long. So let's say you were at like a concert or something and you wanted to share with your daughter or with your niece, like a video that you really, really enjoy, but you can't send it. This is a very good way to kind of bypass those limits and be able to share your experiences and, whatever things that you saw that you enjoy that you want to share.
Drive app on your mobile.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about RCS versus SMS messages. Sounds Greek to me too. Like I didn't know what RCS messages were until I started making these slides. I just knew that to some people that I send iMessages, I could see like the blue text box, and for other people, it was green. And I never knew what was the reason behind it or why that was. I'm pretty sure other people have already noticed this, but might not know the reason behind it. So I found out that RCS messages can be sent to non-Apple devices, as well as to other iPhone users. So with RCS, you can send text, high-resolution photos and videos, links, and other things. And this type of technology, the RCS, is slowly starting to replace SMS because it's being adopted as the standard for messaging because it offers a richer and more interactive experience. So as I said a while back, before you could only send an iMessage to another person who had an iPhone. But nowadays, like that doesn't really work, right? So I'm glad they came up with this feature, and that's like becoming more and more adopted overall. So on the other slide, I did a little table for comparison between SMS messages and RCS messages. So in terms of network, while SMS uses cellular network infrastructure, RCS uses mobile data or Wi-Fi. SMS messages are limited to 160 characters and more basic media, while RCS supports more high quality files and emojis. So you can send longer videos. Your images aren't going to be like super blurred out and pixeled, so they're going to be like higher quality. As for the features, RCS has typing indicators, you can make group chats and more. And SMS lacks some advanced features, while RCS has a more feature-rich experience. So yeah, this is also something I learned while making this workshop, which was really nice. And yeah, I think this was our last slide. So now we wanted to open for questions you guys might have, any comments, if anyone wants to share an experience, anything, feel free to just open your microphone and share.
I also just wanted to quickly add, RCS is a feature that you can turn on and off in your settings in both iPhones and on Android phones. So for iPhones, you can search up RCS in your settings app, and then you can toggle the button to turn it on or off. And I believe for Android phones, you just need to go into the messages settings, set the settings within your messages app. And if you click that, you should be able to find the toggle button to turn RCS on and off in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anyone has any questions or wants to share any experiences or wants like maybe a better step-by-step for any of the features that we just went over, want to try any of these features themselves, like right now, we can do that as well. Mindy asked in the chat, do the gift cards go overseas, Venmo, etc.? So for first off, one of like the big main ways you can send money on iPhones are Apple Cash, and that one is only within US. So you can only send it to people who have like US bank connected cards. But for Venmo, it's like a feature within the app that you can actually send it to people internationally at, I believe. Yeah, so Venmo, that should be okay to send money internationally, but it all depends on the specific app that you're using. And this messages integration is just like a quicker and simpler way to send it within the message context. But yeah, again, just depends on the actual app itself.
So someone else asked on the chat, does RCS need to be added to Android phones or is it already included? So I'm pretty sure it's already built into most Android phones through the Google Messages app. However, it does need to be turned on for it to work. So it's not always automatically activated when you first get your phone or install the app. I think you can do that by turning on chat features if you're using RCS. If you don't have it turned on, then you're just going to be using regular SMS texting, which can also work, as we mentioned, but it's just less features included. Yeah, I hope that helped. I don't know if it was super clear. Let us know. I'm just curious, does anyone here use WhatsApp for messaging? Sharon said yes. I think most people don't, right? Because fun fact, me and Beatrice were from Brazil, and over there everyone uses WhatsApp. No one uses iMessages. So when we came to the US, it was like, wow, we need to learn how to use iMessages. So we are also learning new features as we go. But yeah, so we usually use WhatsApp. And I'm sure like there's so many other messaging apps that people use. So there's like GroupMe, Discord, Kakao Talk, like infinite messaging apps, which can get a bit overwhelming, right? Because if you have just a bunch of messages coming from different points, you sort of lose track of where to respond. But yeah, just a fun fact. Yeah, Diane used it with friends on trips out of the country. Yeah, I think lots of like other countries outside the US use different messaging apps. I have some Korean friends that they use a lot of Kakao Talk. So I think it just depends on like the cultural habits of the place, right? Does anyone have any other questions or features they would like us to go over? How to save photos. Oh, that's a good one. It's a very good one. Does someone want to explain?
I can start explaining and then we just complement each other. We don't have a slide for it, but I'll try to explain it as detailed as I can. But basically, when you're in iMessages and you want to save a picture to your camera roll, all you have to do is hold the picture. So let me show you. So for example, here I have a picture. You're gonna hold, and then you're gonna scroll down, and it's gonna say, oops, and it's gonna say save. So you just hit the save button, and it's in your camera roll. So it's that simple. You're just gonna hold it, and then it's gonna appear the button save, and then you save it.
Yeah, and this, what Bia just showed us, I think it allows you to do some other things. So you can copy the image if you want to like send it to someone else. You can reply to the image the person sends you, or you can save it. So yeah, just like oh, I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, they're like all of these features, but if you click save, it's automatically saved to your camera roll.
You can also react. This is also a feature that we talked about earlier, but you can also add like emoji reacts to images, not just text. So
Thank you. Thank you. We're so glad some of you guys enjoyed the session, learn new things. I think Jenna can share the slide deck with Bob too. So if you guys want to look over the slides, look back at any features, anything, you can have the slide deck.
we'll
But yeah,
also be
thank you
sending
guys
out the
so much.
recording. So
Yeah, the recording too, yeah.
mhm. But yeah, this is our
Okay.
last Gerotech online tech workshop for this for the semester. So we will be back in the fall with new topics, but if there's anything that you guys might were like specifically curious about or interested in or have wanted to see, please let us know and we'll try to tailor our workshops to you. But thank you all so much for such a wonderful session and for your engagement and your interest. We really appreciate all of like the questions and the experiences that you guys have all shared.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a pleasure. I think it might be nice if I think Jenna, we can create like Google Forms like very quick so we can share it with you guys. And if there's any topics you guys are interested in, maybe like Uber and Lyft, Google Maps, anything at all, you guys can just type in whatever you're interested in learning, and we'll bring these workshops to you guys next semester. Yeah, Jenna's creating it live. You guys can see it in the yeah, she can put the link on the chat. So you guys can already do it now if you have a few minutes. And she can also share it with Bob so he can forward it to some other friends. Yeah, that's perfect.
Larissa, will you stay on the video after closing out? I'd like to chat a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
Yeah, Janet.
it was, they continue, your presentations continue to get better and better. Today was another great one. Thank you very much and have a great summer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.